what we might do is I might start with Claire, and with 1 minute to share some of the benefits that your group came up with. And Danny has the power, one, to do timing. So she will let you know with a red light when it's 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, 5 seconds before the 1 minute is up. And she's also got the power of mute. So do your best to finish within that 1 minute. Over to you, Claire, for some benefits for the proteges.
We had a lot of different points, of course, but I think one that was central to all of them was to really welcome new members into the club, let them know firstly, how your own club works, and give them an awareness of how that fits into district and Toastmasters International and everything that involves. So a protege needs to be welcomed into the club, into all of how it works, what you do, what their goals are, and how a mentor can help them achieve them quickly.
Fabulous. Thank you. Absolutely. Having a mentor gives them the opportunity to get all of that knowledge and insights, and that is essential, especially with getting them signed up into pathways. And I'll share, after I hear from Lynn, I think I'll share you a story about that. Lynn, what can you add about benefits for a protege to have a mentor?
Well, I might just, rather than generalise, I'll just talk about all the different ones. There are many benefits for the protege. Firstly, guidance and support. That's almost unnecessary to say, but that's exactly what they get. They get an outsider's view, so that they can see themselves from someone else's point of view. And so they realise more about themselves than they're speaking as they get those opinions. Mm-hmm. They can be given focus and direction, and leading to growth, so they can then develop along the way. They may need comfort sometimes when they've given a poor speech or crashed in some way, and they need to be listened to. They can be, the mentor can push them, so that might be something they may resist at first, but they once they realise the benefits of that, they'll accept that being pushed is actually positive. They can have be helped with their focus and working on specific goals as they move along the path. We did mention learning pathways, but I thought that was already covered by the last person. So, and throughout this process, they can form a relationship, and the reason they
and that's red.
Okay, fine.
Sorry, I've got an issue with background. So verbal red.
I couldn't see anything. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Lynn. And as you all heard, we're going for verbal timing lights, which works well. Thank you to Claire and Lynn for sharing the benefits for a protege. The story I wanted to share with you here was that don't underestimate, or I suppose it's more, don't assume that the protege really understands first time about our program as well. I was appointed a protege who had been in the club for 3 months, and they'd already given 2 fabulous speeches. And when I sat down and had my first meeting with them and talked to them about the program, they hadn't signed up for pathways. They just knew it existed, but they didn't know what it was, because they thought that by signing up on our free Toast Host website and picking the project, that's all they had to do. So that checking in with them as well early on. So thank you for highlighting the importance of that education that a mentor provides the protege. I'd also say check in and make sure they've really understood what you're talking about. So now we're going to head over and have a look at our mentors. And I'm scanning the screen. Am I blind? Lynn? No, not Lynn, Leanne.
All right,
Over to you. Benefits for a mentor to be a mentor.
Yeah, thanks, Kaylene. We talked about a few different things. The first benefit we felt was it's a two-way relationship, but you actually benefit from, the best way to learn is to teach somebody else. So you're benefiting from both the teaching and learning. It's certainly an honour and a privilege to guide someone in their journey through Toastmasters and to be there for them. We felt that leadership is a little bit of a misnomer or a misleading term, and it's not really about having a title in that relationship. It's more on an equal footing, but it's certainly an opportunity to practice our communication skills. And we also felt that it was very empowering for mentors to see their protege succeed. It's a way to contribute to our club, like as an individual, to make a contribution to our club, particularly if we've got to become a bit stale ourselves. It's a way that we can stay involved and motivated. And being organised, there's challenges us to be organised for follow-up and things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Some great insights there. And I'm just scanning to see, do we have another mentor spokesperson? I can't see another one. Help me out. You can unmute if you are the other mentor.
So the other mentor would have been, it looks like David Harding has himself named as protege, but he was in the mentor team.
Oh, okay. Would that be you, David?
That would be me, but we thought we were in the protege team.
Oh, feel free to share some insights then. That's okay.
Well, on so whatever. Lots of stuff on the protege team. The term we came up with towards the end, which we all rather liked, was that the term mentor and protege and mentor can be a bit forbidding and off-putting, and we like the term of a buddy program, especially for people that start their Toastmasters career. So you're assigned a buddy to help you over the early details and all the stuff we said, someone to talk to and someone to bounce your speech ideas off and get an idea what Pathways is about, but a buddy rather than something quite as elaborate and formal and perhaps sounding more involved, such as a mentor. So that was the extra point on there that I'd like to throw in.
Thank you very much, David. And it is a good point because we have a formal protege and mentor relationship, but we can have many informal relationships like that, and it may be called a buddy system as well. So thank you for sharing. And I believe we're now moving into the club, and I can see one club. Is it Kanchana?
Kanchana, yeah, that's me.
Benefits to the club to have a mentoring program.
Yes, so we spoke about many things, and then I tried to summarize them under particular order. I identified 3 areas. First, the growth, club succession, and also the form part of the club, the supportive environment. How the mentoring program is going to benefit the club growth. Yes, so when we are attracting the new members, we can able to tell openly, okay, we do have a mentoring program, we do have a coaching program to support you to conquer your journey in the public speaking arena. And also we spoke about there's a market, huge demand in the market, that is a reality, and the people now is looking for to get into the coaching, executive coaching arena. They don't have many platforms to practice, and the Toastmaster would be a good platform for them to come on board and then to excel their skills. So that also would benefit the club. So if the club has a good mentoring program. Next one is the club succession plan. The mentoring is a hugely benefiting to the club leaders to source and transit the club leadership roles to the.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you hit your minute, but thank you. I agree. Succession plan is extremely important. So thank you for bringing that in as well. Thank you, Kanchana. And I believe Mark is our other club benefits spokesperson. Over to you, Mark. And we've now got the Zoom backgrounds for the timing as well.
Thank you, Kaylene. We had 5 points for a regular club, and 2 points for a corporate club. So first of all, the regular club, the items were makes a club stronger because members are encouraged to try things. Number 2, visitors see mentoring in action. Number 3, there's a feeling of connectedness in the fibre of the club. These are very similar to what Kanchana's just said. Number 4, mentors may be more willing to try office roles if paired with a mentor. Number 5, club growth in the sense of progress in pathways. Members show young and new members what's possible in various projects. So that's a regular club. And a corporate club, Stephen was talking about his corporate club, and the company have a mentoring program, but the club doesn't. But he said the mentors and the protege.
Oops. We wrapped up on our minute. Thank you for sharing. And you did tap into just then about corporate clubs. And one thing that came up for me when you were speaking and Kanchana was speaking was that mentoring is such a valuable transferable skill that we can take beyond Toastmasters as well. So we're going to keep moving because I've got a lot to share, and I'd like you to use the chat box to identify qualities that you look for in a mentor. So we've got supportive, empathy, listening, encouraging, leadership. Awesome. Experience, patience, honest, knowledgeable, patient, approachable. You know, it really depends on where you are in your Toastmasters journey and what you're trying to achieve. Right now, I have 3 mentors that I'm working with. One is a second-year region advisor in United States, and I'm connected with her specifically because I'm a first-year region advisor, and this is all new to me. So I've identified this person that I want to work with because she has already done 1 year, and I can learn a lot about the current role. I also work with a past international director who is my main mentor that looks after everything Kaylene, from speaking, from leadership, also making sure Kaylene has that Toastmaster life work balance happening as well. And I have a third mentor who is 3 years into Toastmasters, working on her first path in pathways. So is working towards her very first distinguished Toastmaster. And you may think, why does someone that's completed 3 DTMs, leadership at an international level, need somebody that's new? Well, this person has enthusiasm and is really engaged in the Pathways program and taking those steps to really develop your skills and navigate through pathways. And I am trying to reconnect with the structure of my presentations and kind of like getting back to basics. And she's younger than me and has enthusiasm. So she is my third mentor that I'm working with at the moment. And each one of them brings something different to the party. So all of these examples that you shared are qualities that resonate with you, but will resonate with others as well. So I'd like to see, do we have someone that would like to share? A number of you said that you have a mentoring program in your club. I'm looking for a brave person to share with us what their program looks like. Is someone going to put their hand up? Michael, and then I'll come to you, Jane. So just a short answer would be great.
So ours is well, I don't want to say ad hoc, but it's kind of ad hoc. Everybody does have a mentor. but it's not really structured, which is one of the reasons why we're here.
Okay, that's good. I think that would be a common scenario for our Toastmasters Club. Jan, do you have something that you would like to add?
Yeah, we've got a mentor checklist. The mentor works with the protege for all of level 1, so that the five speeches, including an evaluation, so helps them through that and ticks it off as they go. But also I have been developing, after talking to people, developing a guideline of what the interactions would be like, on how the sort of questions you might ask, that sort of thing. So it's pretty structured, really.
That's fabulous. And that fits in. And Carl?
Yeah, I'll just share what we do at Rowville. We actually have a mentor coordinator. So we have someone whose job is to run the mentor program. And that allows us then to make sure that it's ticking over as it should be. We have people who are knowledgeable. So we don't have someone who's just been in the club for a short time and is not confident, but we do try to transition people into the mentor program as soon as possible. So we've got fresh people coming in. When a new member joins, they're allocated a mentor straight away. The mentor coordinator will work with that person and available people to make sure it's a good fit, that they're comfortable with that. And having a mentor coordinator also means that we're not just relying on the 1 or 2 people in the club. They're seeing the overview to make sure that everybody who's appropriate is getting that work spread around. We have a booklet with checklists and what to do first, second meeting and going on, etc. That was really there before Pathways, but we're also incorporating the Pathways mentorship resources as well, which I think Kaylene will talk a little bit later. So we've put a lot of work into our mentor program, and we do see the results from it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And that is perfect timing, Carl, because when I look at a club mentoring program, I see 6 key elements, and you can see I've got 6 sections in this image on the screen. And a mentor coordinator is the first key element that you need. You need someone to be able to manage the program. So like Carl said, you could have a mentor coordinator appointed. You could have it that it is the VPE or the Vice President membership. It really is a club's decision who looks after it, but you want to have somebody looking after it. If you are establishing a new mentoring program, you may want to put together a committee, even if it's only 2 or 3 people, to be able to support in implementing this 6-part program that you need to have in place. If you're a large club, you may also consider a committee. But that's the first thing, is having someone that's going to look after the mentoring program. The next element that you need is you need to establish a pool of mentors and members that want to have a mentor. And Toastmasters calls it a mentor interest survey. And in Free Toast Host, if you've used that platform, they have the similar survey built into the system. And what you are doing with this is you're asking your members, do you want a mentor? And they can say, yes, I want a mentor. And in some cases, they can identify who that mentor will be as well. They also have the option to say, yes, I will mentor a new person or an experienced member. So you want to do this so that you've got a pool of people to refer to. Then you want to connect the protege and mentor. And this is done differently depending on which club you're in, and I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. You do what works for you and your members. Some clubs I know will invite the new member to look at the members in the club and for them to self-identify who they would like to connect with. And that's a great strategy. Sometimes though, that can take 2 or 3 meetings before that happens. If that is the case, you would probably want to have an onboard mentor. So somebody that specifically focuses on doing onboarding or orientation, just to help the new member in those few weeks before they are connected with their mentor. Other clubs will gather the information from the protege or the member wanting to have a mentor, and they will then suggest, I think you would be a suitable fit with this member, and they'll make the connection happen. But you have to get the mentoring started. And mentoring resources. So these are things that you as a club, like you heard from Jan, they've got some checklists to help, and Carl, they've got a booklet that tells them about what to do for the first meeting, second meeting. These are resources and you can create them yourself. There's resources that Toastmasters has that you can take the information from there and modify it to suit your own. Toastmasters recently updated their new member orientation presentation. So that's another resource that you can tap into. But you want to have some checklists, some templates, some resources available to help your mentors in supporting the proteges. And an orientation type checklist that lets them get onto pathways and understand the club and log into your website. If you've got a website, they're essential, as you heard my story earlier. This is an element that when I've been around for a number of years, this is the area that I think we can really focus on and we don't spend enough attention in. And this is, how do we support our mentors? How do we support them once we assign them? A lot of the time, like Michael said, it's a little bit ad hoc. We create a relationship and that's happening and that's it. We may never even tap back into them. So what can we do about supporting them? I am all for peer support groups where mentors work together, buddying mentors together. Even if at a minimum, whoever's the coordinator checks in with the mentors every month or every 2 months with a simple, how are you going? That would be a huge step towards building a real supportive framework around helping your mentors in your club. And finally, everything we do in Toastmasters, we evaluate and review so that we can improve, so that we can know what we're doing well, and then we can find opportunities for growth. And in our mentoring program in our club, we want to do the same. So you want to factor in an opportunity to review the program that you've put in place, but also reviewing the effectiveness of the relationship with the protege and the mentor. And this is where the Pathways program for mentoring can be used as well. When you get to, I think it's level 5, the advanced mentoring, you've got the opportunity there for, they call it 360 feedback, where you as a mentor evaluate yourself, but your protege also provides you with feedback. So you can weave that in as part of your review to keep developing your mentors, but also developing your program. So these 6 steps or 6 elements, I believe, are key to having a real effective club mentoring program. If we take it a step further and look at how do we build a culture of mentoring in the club, and this is where I've got these 5 points. You want to talk up mentoring as much as you can. If you have a newsletter, mention it in the newsletter. At meetings, reference mentoring. When you are talking to potential visitors, talk to them about this fabulous mentoring program that you have in your club and how it helps your members achieve their goals, but achieve more than they expected in the club. You want to showcase your mentors as well. And again, that could be on your newsletter. It could be on your website. You might have a profile. I've seen some clubs that have beautiful PDFs created for each of their mentors, where it's got a picture of them and it talks about what their skills and experience are and the topics that they're really passionate about. So think of ways to how can you showcase them and let other people know how wonderful these members are that are supporting others by mentoring. Looking at how you can incorporate mentoring activities into your club experience. Now, this could be having sessions within the club. I've heard of clubs that will have 10 minutes or 20 minutes breakout type activity where the protege and the mentor come together. They also, I've also heard of a different variation which taps into what David was saying about the buddy instead of a protege mentor. And this was where a club identified early on that they would, they didn't have enough people in the club for a mentoring program. So 10 minutes, half an hour before the meeting, they invited everyone to turn up. And as you arrived, you got paired up and you went away and you gave an update on what you did. And then the other person gave an update and you gave each other feedback on what you were doing. So that's another one. Mentoring peer group, as I mentioned earlier, that's one that I think is very important. Try and get your mentors together so they can support each other. And also think about recognizing your mentors. You can get mentor pins, but again, that's celebrating them in newsletters. Encourage one of your members to submit, hey, this is my mentor to Toastmasters International, and you might get your mentor and a protege in the Toastmasters magazine. So they're ways to build that culture. But we also have roadblocks that we face in implementing a club quality program. And I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking, I've probably got time for definitely one, maybe two roadblocks. So who has a reason why they're going to have trouble implementing a club mentoring program? Jan.
Being on Zoom is really hard. There's no connection. So what's happened in our club is we've only put on a couple new people since with Zoom, and a few have dropped off, and they are being mentored by the VPE because they're the one, that's the only one they know. Okay. So it's ending up, it's hard for them to get to know anyone else because of that. But they've had, yeah, so I'm finding that a bit of a frustration at the moment.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I've heard that before. And there is ways that you can build connections while you're in meetings. And this is where it's about getting creative. Danny today put you all in breakout rooms. Breakout rooms, you can have them just with 2 people in each room. So you could, if one of the challenges is getting to know people in the club, you could factor into your agenda maybe a 10-minute session, or maybe it could even be like a 4 or 5 minute session where you just randomly put 2 people per room into breakout rooms and get them to have a chat. And once you've done that over a couple of meetings, you'll see that people will start to get to know each other. You can even also do group mentoring sessions as well, where you could have a mentor mentoring 3 or 4 people. And ultimately what you get from that is that it's kind of like me as a region advisor with the program quality directors like Carl and his group. I started out as kind of like leading the meetings. Now they run the meetings and they help each other. So that's another thing that you can weave into it. So if you do have any other roadblocks, put them in the chat and I will come up with some solutions and share them with you. But because I have clearly spoken too long than I have to, I'm going to keep going, because I really would like to hear what is one action that you can take from this session to either build a club mentoring program in your club or enhance a club mentoring program. And if you can, share them in chat.
While we're doing that, Kaylene, there was one other roadblock, and that was not enough members.
So while you're putting in your one action, if you do not have enough members, this is where, one, you could do a group session where you have an experienced member mentoring a group of people. So that's one. Two, you could find another club, and it could be a club within your division or area. It could be within the district or beyond. Find another club that is interested in putting a joint mentoring program together. And you might be able to share. So have people from that club mentoring your members and your members mentoring them as well. So we've got breakout rooms, mentor checklist, fabulous. This is good. Resources book, building a plan. I like using sessions. So it looks like you've got some real practical actions that you're going to take away from this session today. I did see a note about my presentation. Absolutely, this will be made available for to you. I've shared it with Danny, and she will do that as well with the handout. And the final thing before I close off this session, I do this at all my meetings. Carl knows, Vicky knows. Every meeting, I like to know what is a takeaway that you are going to leave this session with. So what's one of your aha type moments, so insight or something, one thing that you're going to leave this meeting with? And if you could share that in chat, I'd love to read them too. Good point, Jan. Everybody's different. Everybody needs something different. Swatching. Yep. Have a coordinator. Fantastic. We've got a club mentoring program. Leanne's going to move forward with it. Sensational. Structure in the mentoring program. Yep. Practical activities for meetings. Fantastic. So thank you for engaging and being part of this session. I could talk for mentoring, I think, all day, but we are coming to the end of the session. I encourage you to make the most of every opportunity you have to be a protege and have somebody mentor you. Don't be afraid to ask. So many people are ready to put their hand up and say yes. If you ask, they'll say yes. If they're not busy, they'll be able to say yes. If the timing's right. So sometimes I will say to people, I would love to, but can we wait 2 months because I've got too many things on. So never be afraid to ask. If there's somebody out there and you look at them and you think, oh, I can get something from them, I really want to learn from them. Ask. Don't be afraid to ask for someone to be your mentor. If you get the opportunity to mentor people, take the opportunity if you have the time and the capacity to do so. I get so much from the people that I mentor. It is the most wonderful partnership, most wonderful relationship that I have. And good luck with all of your club mentoring programs going forward. I would now like to hand back to the fabulous Carl Hughes. Back to you, Carl.
Thank you very much for that, Kaylene. And I would like everybody to do a huge quiet clap again, as usual, for the fabulous Kaylene. Thank you, Kaylene, for that. That's brilliant. Well done. And I'd also like to thank Danny Streets as well. Danny is behind the scenes there as our Zoom master, making sure that everything is working. So thank you, Danny, for making it all smooth for us as well. Now, I will say that there's obviously, we could go on for a 6-hour session when it comes to mentoring in this way. If there is anything that you are after for more questions, more barriers or anything, please let me know. So you can send directly to my Toastmaster email, which is Carl, K-A-R-L, Carl Toastmaster @hotmail.com. Carl Toastmaster, one word, @hotmail.com. So anything you want to know any more, anything that you didn't get time to ask, any barriers that you'd like a little bit more help in some way, please send it through to me. And I'm happy then to send that out to the right person to give you a little bit more support in that way. I'm looking at the time and I know this is a weekend, so we need to, now that we're allowed to go out in Victoria at least, I'm sure you're all wanting to get outside for a change. So I thank you for your time today. Thank you once again, Kaylene and Danny, and stay tuned. Always look at the newsletter and keep your eyes on the Facebook page because there will be more training coming up. Please plug in. Tell more people about it to come along because the more knowledgeable we are, the more then we can build quality into our clubs. And when we have quality in clubs, members reach their aims, but also when guests come through, they can smell that. Guests can smell a good club that is doing well and your conversion rate will be so much higher. The district starts building, Toastmasters building, and the message of what we do gets out there. So please remember that. Thank you, everybody, and have a good rest of the day. Bye.